No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of Monday Night Raw for November the 7th, 2022. An eventful edition of Monday Night Raw. Definitely a lot to discuss. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. And a special shout out to the early birds, Teaching in Color X, Darren G, Walter Cruz, Mike Nixon, Ken Terminates DQ, Michael Wayne, Dave Scheffler, Oofman Entertainment. You are all very much appreciated. Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. He says, say yes to no DQ, like, share, hashtag stick to my shtick. Also, Raw began with a perfect real promo from New Day and Uso, then ruined by comedy from Matt Riddle. Well, we'll get to that in just a minute. I will give my thoughts on that. Thank you, Walter. Shanti in Hawaii sent in a $2 super chat, says, hey, I got 2 words for you, no DQ. Say yes to no DQ. Thank you for that, Shanti. Much appreciated. Now, let's get into Raw. We kicked off the show with the Usos, the tag team champions, along with Solo Sikoa. Crowd was chanting for Sami Zayn. Usos bragged about their win at Crown Jewel. The New Day quickly interrupted. Now, this Friday, the New Day will be facing the Usos for the tag team titles, hoping to not only win the titles, but prevent the Usos from breaking the New Day's record as the longest reigning tag team champions of all time. They went back and forth here, these two teams. Xavier Woods, though, was really on fire here. He talked about pressure, how they had to sit in catering. They had to make a YouTube channel just to get noticed by the company. They formed their group only to get booed. He said that the pressure turned them into diamonds. The crowd was very much into this, and maybe this was one of the only things that the crowd was into. As Michael Wayne pointed out, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, not one of the better WWE crowds of the year. I mean, it's up there with, well, maybe down there with Corpus Christi as one of the worst WWE cities. Felt like the Thunderdome would have been a better place, at least with the piped-in crowd noise. He had some kind of noise, right? Anyways, Xavier Woods was the highlight of this. Then Matt Riddle arrived, and this is where it was pretty serious. For New Day standards, they were serious. They were not doing comedy. They were not messing around. They were taking the tag team title match seriously, which was a nice change of pace for them. But then Riddle came out, and Riddle was doing the comedy. Riddle asked if somebody wanted to hit his bong. He had his bongos out there. And he brought up Usi, which Jay did not appreciate. So Jay slapped the bong away. By the way, I think Jimmy started playing with the bong. He hit the bong and was doing the rhythm for Umaga's theme song. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's what he was doing. Little homage to Umaga. But anyways, Riddle ended up proposing a, well, 6-man tag team match because it is Monday Night Raw. That's what you do. You start the show with a talking segment, and then you turn it into a match. That is how things are done in the world of WWE, whether it's Vince McMahon in charge or Paul Levesque in charge. This is how you do things. Holla, 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 to take a page out of Toady. Who's Toady? See, I'm so fired up, I don't even know who I'm trying to reference here. Teddy Long. Maybe I was thinking of Tony Khan, and I said Toady. Teddy and Tony. That must have been what I was trying to say there. I was trying to say Teddy Long, but I was thinking of Tony Khan. Anyways, let's move on here to the match. But before I get to that, Psycho Jet White. Oh boy, here we go. We have Psycho Jet Black. We have Psycho Jet White. He says, that was the most anticlimactic cash-in ever. He's talking about the end, which we will get to in a little bit. People are buzzing about that. Stay tuned. Walter Cruz with a $2 super chat. I guess this is in regards to Raw. He says the beginning was Triple H and then the ending was Vince, LOL. Well, maybe he meant the promo segment, because Xavier Woods, when he was talking, it felt very much like a Triple H style promo or an unscripted promo without the silly comedy. And then when Riddle comes out there, feels like a Vince segment. So we had the 6-man tag team match, which was good. Standard match, in my opinion. Riddle went for the floating bro, but Solo Sikoa stopped him, and then they worked over Riddle for a while. Riddle tagged out. New Day came in. They double-teamed Solo, and then Bloodline regained control of the match for a while. They slammed Kofi into the announce table several times, and then Riddle tagged back in, did some of his big moves. It was going back and forth here. Things started to break down, and then Riddle hit the RKO to Jimmy Uso. However, the problem was that Solo Sikoa had tagged in. Riddle did not see the tag, which is a very typical tag team finish in WWE. They always say it on commentary, how the guy doesn't realize a tag has been made. Solo comes in, hits the spinning Solo, and pins Riddle. Bloodline picks up momentum heading into Friday SmackDown. Match was good, but did we really need it? We could have just done the promo and been done with it. The promo was good. The promo built up SmackDown nicely, but I guess you had to do the match. And when it was all said and done, you had about 40 minutes of Raw dedicated to the Usos and the New Day, which I think is a little excessive. Either do the promo or do the match. I don't think you need to do both, in my opinion. Just too much TV time, especially when you have other people that are struggling to get TV time. I just don't think all of this was necessary. Or maybe just do a short match. But yeah, this was longer than it needed to be, in my opinion. Maybe some people disagree. That's fine. I thought it was too much with these particular guys. Teaching in Color X sent a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Boo. The crowd should really bring back the chant, same old sheet. Sounds awful. This crowd, Wilkes-Barre, I'm not sure what their deal was, but I doubt that they were going to come up with any innovative chants on this show. Maybe there was one. I think they tried a hit the bong chant, but it didn't really catch on. And Dave Scheffler sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, didn't like Matt Riddle interrupting the promo. Seems like a lot of people agree with you on that one, Dave. I thought it was kind of amusing, but, you know, they're running the whole bong thing into the ground now. I feel like they've been doing this for several weeks. Psycho Jet White says that the tap, tap, pass was funny. Yeah, I mean, it is funny, but they already told the joke a few weeks ago with the bongos, so now it's just becoming a bit redundant, in my opinion. We had a Crown Jewel video package showcasing the highlights of the event. And then we had JBL. So what do you do after a 40-minute segment with the same people? You bring out JBL. He bashes Wilkes-Barre, no surprise there. And honestly, with the way they were reacting, I think he became a babyface to the people watching at home. He was on commentary as Baron Corbin took on Cedric Alexander, making his first appearance on Raw in a while, other than being like a body for one of those pull-apart brawls. Basically a squash match. I mean, Cedric did get in a little bit of offense. Corbin got the win. Hit the end of days. Not much to say about it. Still don't care about JBL and Corbin. Not a fan. Not a good heel act. I just think it's go away heat, in my opinion. Should have been the Lone Wolf. Should have had the old music back, the Jim Johnston song. Oh, well. I'm over Corbin at this point. And Cedric Alexander has some really crappy music too. But, I mean, they're never going to push him at this stage of the game unless he goes back with Bobby Lashley and MVP. Next up, we had Seth freaking Rollins coming to the ring for a United States Open Challenge. And he was quickly interrupted by the Judgment Day. By the way, Walter Cruz sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Walter. Says, I say Maharaja every time JBL says modern day. LOL. I'm with you, Walter, the modern day wrestling god. No, the modern day Maharaja. I say give Jinder Mahal a break and don't steal his shtick. Right, Walter? JBL should not say modern day, period. That should be trademarked to Jinder Mahal for the rest of eternity. So anyways, Judgment Day came down to the ring to confront Seth freaking Rollins. And Balor said he has a bone to pick with Rollins because Rollins cost him a championship at one point several years back. The OC, they quickly interrupted, and Rollins took a hike. AJ Styles said things are far from over, coming off of Crown Jewel. He said it's been 3 of them versus the 4 Judgment Day members. They tried to find somebody. And I guess that's why there was nobody at Crown Jewel, because they still had not found that person. However, somebody found the OC. And we had the big reveal, and it was Mia Yim, who was formerly in WWE as part of Retribution, but most people remember her from her NXT run. This crowd did not really remember her. She unfortunately barely got a reaction. I mean, not much of one, but she took out Rhea Ripley with some kendo stick shots and got a little bit of a reaction at that point. OC took care of business. Styles hit the Styles Clash to Dominik and sent the Judgment Day packing. I like Mia Yim being part of the group. I just feel bad that crowd barely reacted to her. Although, to be fair, she really never showed her face on Raw. When she was part of Retribution, she had the mask on. Unless you watched NXT, you probably would not recognize her. But, you know, I think it's a good pairing, and now we got the 4-on-4. So there you go. Should have happened at Crown Jewel, though, in my opinion. We had Seth Rollins backstage saying that he was still going to answer the Open Challenge. So they were saving that for the end of the show. Next up, we had Elias versus Otis in a one-on-one match. Pretty basic match here. Elias tried to body slam Otis. Mistake on his part. But eventually he picked up some momentum, and that's when Chad Gable got on the apron. Elias took him down, but then because of the distraction, Otis was able to grab Elias, hit the world's strongest slam, and picked up the 1-2-3 victory. So, stupid babyface Elias tries to body slam Otis. Although, to be fair, Hulk Hogan tried to body slam Andre, and that did not go over so well at WrestleMania 3, although he eventually did it. And then he goes after Gable on the apron. Stupid babyface again. Whatever. Otis picks up the win. I mean, Elias kind of feels stagnant. They did the Ezekiel thing that quickly ran its course, and now he's Elias, but feels like it's just the same old Elias. Like, he needs something, and I'm not sure what it is. So we had Judgment Day backstage. They were not happy about Mia Yim coming back. Then we had a little tease. Rhea Ripley ran into Bianca Belair, the Raw Women's Champion. The seeds being planted. I like it. I hope Rhea Ripley is the one to pick up the championship off of Bianca Belair. That's what I would like to see, at least. Then we had Bianca Belair come into the ring with Alexa Bliss and Asuka. Footage was shown of a confrontation that happened before Raw outside the arena between Bianca's group and Damage CTRL. Bianca called out Damage CTRL. They showed up and words were exchanged, and actually Asuka and Io started trash talking in Japanese, and it ended with Io calling Asuka a bitch. Everybody started fighting at this point, and Bianca got on the mic, said this means war. She wanted the match at War Games. And then Nikki Cross showed up to attack Bianca Belair 4-on-3, and Damage CTRL plus Nikki Cross got the upper hand and left the others laying. So right now it's 4-on-3, but WWE did confirm that it will be 5-on-5 at War Games, Survivor Series, which means one more person for Bayley's team and 2 more people for Bianca's team. I'm guessing Candice LeRae will probably be one of the teammates for Bianca's team. We'll see. And this is fully what I expected here with the women's War Games match. Figured it would be Damage CTRL versus Bianca's team. Trey Johnson thinks it'll be Sasha and Naomi. We'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. Building Nexus with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Says Naomi and Sasha Banks at War Games. RIP Aaron Carter. Again, we'll see. I'm not holding my breath on it. Definitely rumors out there, but you never know. Maybe they show up, maybe they don't. Lots of rumor and speculation at this point. Time will tell. And yeah, the Aaron Carter story is just very sad, very unfortunate. So RIP to him. And next up, we had Shelton Benjamin versus Austin Theory. And by the way, I'd rather see Naomi come back with the bloodline and Sasha off on her own again, but I gave up hoping that we would see Naomi join the bloodline. We had Austin Theory versus Shelton Benjamin, which translation, when you see this match listed, it means Austin Theory is finally getting a win for once. And sure enough, Shelton Benjamin did get in a little bit of offense, but Theory did pick up the win. He gouged the eyes of Shelton and hit the A-Town down to pick up the victory. There you go. Austin Theory wins a match, ladies and gentlemen. Hell is frozen over. Then we had The Miz coming down to the ring for a promo. And by the way, Shelton Benjamin, I thought his last music, which he had since coming back in 2016, like his music just keeps getting worse and worse. He had Ain't No Stopping Me Now, which was a banger of a song. Then he had a song when he came back, which was not so good. And now he's got an even worse song. It just keeps going downhill for Shelton Benjamin with his music. Walter Cruz sent in a $2 super chat, says Survivor Series is in Boston. That's Sasha Banks' hometown. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. Would be a good place for her to come back, but I don't think that they booked Boston as the site for Survivor Series because, oh, let's bring back Sasha Banks or do something with her in Boston. I don't think that that was the case. My gut feeling is I agree with this comment. Her little teaser on Instagram, I tend to think that that is something non-wrestling related, like a movie role or a TV series role, something like that, or something with music. I feel like it's not related to wrestling. She got some kind of big gig that doesn't involve wrestling. Now, she is training still. We may see her do something in Japan, but I still will be surprised if she shows back up in WWE. I know there's talk about her coming back, but I just feel like she's got other stuff going on right now. Anyways, Miz said that Gargano's whistleblowing was 100% false. He's not paying Dexter Lumis, but his father thinks that Johnny Gargano is right. Johnny Gargano arrived, said Miz's dad is a smart man, and then brought up how he needed stronger evidence. So he hired a private investigator to pretend to be a Hollywood movie producer. And this investigator met up with The Miz and had hidden camera footage where The Miz admitted that he paid Dexter Lumis. Miz was furious, of course. This led to a match, a very good match here with these guys, the two Cleveland boys, back and forth, competitive match. Gargano got several near falls on The Miz. They traded super kicks. They brawled on the outside of the ring. It was anybody's match, but then The Miz pulled the dirty tactic. He grabbed the turnbuckle strap, the metal rod, and he hit Gargano with it while the referee was distracted and got the 1-2-3 victory over Gargano. After the match was over, Dexter Lumis showed up. Lumis hit Miz with a chair, and then security chased off Lumis. Good match, like I said. Miz picks up the win with the dirty tactics, and then Lumis returns. Good stuff here. I enjoyed it. At least we got a storyline here. I will give WWE that. We don't have enough stories, and we do have something going on here with Miz and Lumis and Gargano. And it's too bad about Ciampa that he got hurt. Otherwise, this would have been an interesting potential tag match, and would Ciampa align with Gargano. Like, they could have done stuff with this. So that's unfortunate, but you do have Lumis and Gargano with their history and The Miz now. Maybe we get a double cross at some point. We had Dana Brooke versus Nikki Cross in a 24/7 title match. They brought back the 24/7 title. Wow. How exciting. But this was just a squash match. Nikki Cross destroyed her, picked up the win, and then the most interesting thing, you guys know, if you've been watching my live streams for a while, you know I do sometimes have to give Raw a letter grade down if they do a repetitive angle or they book something that they do a million times, like a contract signing. I almost feel like I have to go letter grade up because they went backstage and Nikki Cross trashed the 24/7 title. Although she actually dropped it on the floor. I think that was by mistake. She meant to drop it in the trash and missed. But basically, she disposed of the 24/7 title. So even if it was botched, this might have been the greatest Raw moment of the year. This might have been the greatest Raw moment of the 20s so far. Praise Triple H, praise Papa H for finally getting rid of this damn title. I think I have to go letter grade up for this. I really do. Walter Cruz with a $5 super chat says, Triple H is all about bringing people back. He needs to bring back Jim Johnston because these theme songs suck. Most are generic. Only Roman Reigns is awesome. Man, I agree with you 100%, Walter. Jim Johnston should be working for a major wrestling promotion. AEW, you bring in all these WWE guys. What about Jim Johnston? Triple H should bring back Jim Johnston. Like, come on. Listen to the fans, Triple H, Tony Khan. We all love Jim Johnston. Or figure out what the hell happened with CFOs, whatever legal issues there were, and get them back. Something. The theme songs suck. And Triple H is a man with taste in music. They're using Ozzy Osbourne for Survivor Series. Like, that's cool. Come on, Triple H. Let's do something here and get some better songs, whether it's Jim Johnston or CFOs or somebody else, because the guys you have right now, they ain't cutting it, in my opinion. Psycho Jet White with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, will this lead to the women's intercontinental title? That I don't know. I know it's been discussed and rumored amongst women in WWE and interviews, but do we really need another title at this point when the women's tag division struggles to have any contenders? That's my take on it. You got to build up the women's tag division first before you consider introducing more titles. And Dr. Dakota Scorpio sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, I gave Raw an A+ because no more 24/7. Thanks, Nikki. Well, there you go. Very high praise there from Dr. Dakota Scorpio. And Michael sent in a $2 super chat. Says, who says Jim Johnston doesn't want to stay retired? Well, he's done interviews, and my feeling is from the interviews is that he wants to work and he wants to do music. And I think he was even doing some stuff for Ring of Honor at one point for the Pirate. What's his name? Pierre PCO, whatever his name is. I think he was doing a few theme songs. I feel like he would come back to WWE if they wanted to bring him back, or if AEW wanted to hire him. I think he would. That's just my gut feeling from what he said in interviews. We had Seth Rollins coming out for the Open Challenge. He brought up how it's his 10-year anniversary in WWE. Speaking of anniversaries, great time for a cheap plug. Tuesday night, we're almost here, 7 p.m. Eastern, the greatest wrestling Q&A ever. You can still send in questions. NODQMISC@gmail.com. Plus, you could super chat questions, which is always appreciated. But you can email questions. The super chat questions do get priority, though. We do appreciate any questions, though, so send them in. NODQMISC@gmail.com. Now, the Open Challenge. Ali was backstage, and he said he was going to accept the challenge, but then he got his ass handed to him by Bobby Lashley. Lashley threw him into the production crates, and then Lashley came down to the ring to accept the challenge. However, Lashley jumped Rollins before the bell could even ring. He beat the crap out of Rollins, sent Rollins into the ring post, slammed him through the announce table, And you had various officials coming out there. Just as Lashley was taking his leave, he wasn't really interested in competing for the title. Theory showed up. Austin Theory with the Money in the Bank contract. So he's like, he ain't going to win it from Roman Reigns, so he decided to cash in on Seth Rollins instead. It was official. Austin Theory cashed in Money in the Bank. The bell rang. The match started. And Theory went for several pin attempts. Rollins kept kicking out. Rollins started to make a comeback, but then he missed the curb stomp. Theory hit the A-Town down and was about to become the new champion, but then Lashley at the last second pulled out the referee. Theory was furious, as you can imagine. He went after Lashley, but Lashley got the upper hand, beat the crap out of Theory, threw him into the ring post, and then took his leave. Theory was about to be counted out, but Theory ran back into the ring at the count of 9. However, Rollins immediately caught him with the super kick, or not the super kick, the curb stomp, and got the 1-2-3 victory. Still your United States champion, Seth freaking Rollins. Austin Theory cashed in on the U.S. champion and failed. Failed Money in the Bank cash in. I mean, it was pretty clear, even with Triple H in charge, that they had no intentions on really pushing him as the Money in the Bank winner and getting the title or anything like that. So yeah, that's the end of it. Cashes in on the U.S. champion and fails. Not looking good for Austin Theory, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they really made him out like a complete joke. And I'm hopeful with Triple H in charge, if they do Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, get rid of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which isn't confirmed, but there's rumors. I hope the next Money in the Bank winner, well, winners plural, will actually have good runs. Have somebody win that you are going to push, and not only win the title, but be a long-term champion and be the future of the company. So have Braun Breaker win Money in the Bank. Have one of your upcoming female stars, Cora Jade or Roxanne Perez. Somebody significant needs to win Money in the Bank next go around, because they've really devalued the briefcase, in my opinion. They've made it a joke, quite frankly. Axel with a $10 super chat says, why is Triple H burying Theory? Theory was looking like the next John Cena at one point. Well, I think that Theory was a Vince McMahon project, even though you had Theory in NXT when Triple H was running it. It was a Vince project, and he really wasn't catching on. Like, he was getting heat, but it wasn't necessarily good heat. And they were booking him like crap, too. Like, if Theory was winning matches, maybe fans would have taken him more seriously, but they were booking him as a guy that was only in his spot because of Vince. That's how they were booking him on TV, that he was the chosen one. Almost like Drew McIntyre in the beginning. Might have to be a similar situation where Theory disappears for a while and then comes back, but it's like Drew McIntyre, where McIntyre was the chosen one, but it was clear he was only there because he was being leapfrogged above everybody else. Same thing with Theory. And yeah, Theory did not catch on. He was having good matches, but He was losing all the time, and when he did win, it was by complete fluke. They never did the Theory John Cena match. Man, it's going to be a tough one for him. He definitely will need some rehab, maybe some repackaging. Time will tell. But yeah, that's the end of that. No more Money in the Bank now. The Game is on 100 sent in a $5 super chat. Says, Theory no longer Money in the Bank in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air voice. Oh, well. Also, Papa H, thank you for failed cash-in. Well, I mean, it's funny because on one hand, I would have liked a successful cash-in, but on the other hand, if Theory won after all those losses, like it would have devalued the guy that dropped the title, first of all, and then Theory would not be very, very credible as champion. Michael sent in a $2 super chat. Says they really disrespected the Money in the Bank, Theory, and 24/7. Well, 24/7, I mean, let's be real here. Nobody is going to be upset about that title being gone. I don't think there'll be too many people for that funeral. Underground Knight sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, do you think Triple H will have him look better by winning the Rumble instead of the Vince way? I don't think he's winning the Rumble. I think it's going to take at least a year of strong booking to build up Austin Theory. Like, it could be done. Remember, Bobby Lashley was going nowhere with Lana by his side. They got him with MVP and changed things up. Maybe Theory just needs a manager. He needs some direction. Maybe MVP could manage Theory. You can rehab him, but he's gonna need some help for sure. Anyways, guys, that was Raw. Crowd did not help matters, but I give Raw a little bit of credit for getting rid of the 24/7 title first and foremost. The Money in the Bank thing is what it is. It was interesting how it all played out. And the show was all right. You did build up War Games, so it was solid. I give it a B. I was going to go like a C+, but like I said, 24/7 title, boost it up. Raw was all right. And the crowd did not help, but I still enjoyed the show for the most part, despite the lack of crowd heat. Axel sent in a $5 super chat, says, could we still see Theory versus John Cena? Cena could come back and really help him out. Again, Theory needs to win matches. After this big losing streak, like him versus John Cena, nobody's going to believe that he can beat John Cena. You got to build him up to where people think, yeah, maybe he could beat John Cena. And I'm not sure they can pull that off in 4 or 5 months until WrestleMania. So if they're going to do that, if it is John Cena versus Austin Theory at WrestleMania 39, then they really need to get going with rehabbing Theory and build him up again. Psycho Jet White sent in a $2 super chat, says, I am the undisputed multiverse super chat champion. All right, Psycho Jet White. Where is Psycho Jet Black? Why are you two never at the same place at the same time? Just wondering. But I guess, yeah, you are technically the multiverse champion for the moment. Raw gets a B. The Raw crowd gets a D-. Oh, apparently Psycho Jet Black is sleeping, which I should probably be doing. So on that note, I will go ahead and wrap up this live stream. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, I appreciate it. For those of you tuning in for the first time, seems like there are a few. I hope you consider subscribing. YouTube.com/AaronRiff NoDQ. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the latest wrestling news and rumors. And make sure you guys tune in for the greatest Q&A ever with myself and good old JM Jeff Meacham, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the channel. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your week. And all I say at this point is say yes to no DQ, and see you all next time.